Okay, another Nerdy Virgin podcast. I recorded one of these yesterday. I'm recording another one today. I'm gonna do it. Excuse me. I'm going to do it. Since I've tried to start doing an hour, it's been a bit more of a challenge. It takes more energy, and it takes a lot of energy to talk alone in a room to myself for an hour. That's how much of an introvert I am. I can't even have a conversation with myself for more than 30 minutes before I say, I need a break. I need a break from this. I've been starting to get back up on stage to varying degrees of success. I feel like thus far I've had about 3 or 4 sets. 2 were good, 2 were not so good. I'm still doing some live, some Zoom. It was really cool. Actually, Jay Leno dropped into the club last night, and this was the first time I'd ever seen him live, and it was phenomenal, and he hasn't done it for a year. It was phenomenal, and he hasn't done it for a year. And just the perfect balance of great joke structure and connected to what he was saying. It was fantastic. It really was. Like a masterclass in stand-up. So cool to see that. So cool. And hopefully he'll be, I think he's going to come back. So that's really neat. Very, very neat. And it was so inspiring to see him, with all that material that was A+ and that was prepared, that it makes me feel even worse about recording a podcast with no idea about what I'm going to talk about. No agenda, no method, nothing whatsoever, but just talking into a tape recorder. And by tape recorder, I mean my iPhone, but it feels more romantic to be saying I talked into a tape recorder. Maybe because when Danny Elfman first came up with the score to Batman, he hummed it into a tape recorder while he was on a plane, because it came to him while he was in a plane. And I guess what this podcast could be is me just summarizing other podcasts for you. It's a podcast aggregate. I would not be shocked if that doesn't come around soon, where you just listen to a 1-hour podcast which contains summaries of other podcasts. I've been listening to probably too many podcasts, and I get down on myself because I feel like all I'm doing is listening to people have conversations about the wonderful lives they've led, and that is how I am spending my life. My whole life is going to flash before my eyes, and it's going to consist of segments of other people's lives. It's going to be a life within a life, basically, which is not something that I want. But maybe what I need to figure out is, what do I want? What do I want? Well, to be a comedian, to I guess make it as a comedian. That would be nice. But at the same time, I never want to drive or fly anywhere. I sense a conflict. I sense a conflict in my desires, Josh. You may want to look at that. Feeling less stressed today. I'm not entirely sure why. I woke up this morning and a voice inside me said, "Why are you feeling better?" What right do you have to feel better? You knock that off. Who do you think you are, sir? Who do you think you are? And all I want right now is another hot tea. I had some hot tea this morning. Emperor's Cloud from Starbucks. Fantastic tea. Fantastic tea. I think I'll order a second. I had some tea. I had their egg bites, and then I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Toasted. And I'm feeling fantastic. Very, very satiated, very, very satisfied. feeling good. How are you? So, I got some sleep, and I feel better now that after I got some sleep. I got to remind myself sometimes maybe all I need is sleep, and all these neurotic thoughts. Once I get some sleep and once I rest, the neurotic thoughts, they're still there, but they're a little less pronounced. Is that the secret to life? Sleep and eating? Is that why there was a caveman who was neurotic? Maybe you're not getting enough sleep. Maybe there are tigers out there with giant teeth, okay? Maybe that's my problem. Saber-toothed tigers out there. Saber-toothed tigers, not just tigers. Saber-toothed tigers. Maybe that's why I'm awake right now, all right? Maybe that's why I'm stressed. Saber-toothed tigers. How big does the teeth need to be? I think it's how big do the teeth need to be. Don't correct my grammar. We don't even have a language yet. So, coming to the point of the year where I need air conditioning, getting hotter here in Burbank, which probably means it's fire season soon. I think it's fire season already. It's always fire. Well, it's always fire season in Southern California. That's what we're going to be saying soon. Yeah, mild fire season. We were only on fire 364 days this year. There's one day where things were relatively calm. Yeah, maybe things are turning around. Maybe things are turning around. But I say that because I'm looking up at the air vent, and I will often sneeze when they turn on the AC because crap is flying through the air vent into my face. Maybe it's Ebola, maybe coronavirus, maybe it's just dust. Maybe it is fecal matter from animals that are running around the empty AMC theater. It's not empty anymore, but it was creepy working underneath an empty movie theater for a year. Can I just say that? Very creepy working underneath an empty movie theater. Giant empty spaces. Did they take all the food out? Did they leave it there? What was crawling in there and eating things? I don't know. I was taking a walk, I guess a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? A couple of days ago. And I'm walking in just a residential neighborhood, and I see a mouse, or was it a rat? It was either a big mouse or a small rat. Scurry. It was standing on the sidewalk in the broad daylight. And as I walked closer, it scurried away. And it's so amazing to me how there's squirrels running around all over the place. I see, but a mouse is like, oh God, a mouse. Oh no, it's over. Yeah, Tom and Jerry. And I think they made there's an Adult Swim version of this where there was a sketch. It was either not Adult Swim. It was, I think Robot Chicken, was it? Where a bunch of mice are going, why does everyone love the squirrels but everyone hates us? What's the difference? Just the tails. So I know this thought has been done before, but I saw that mouse and I freaked out. Every time I see a mouse, my brain goes, plague, the plague, plague. DEFCON 5 people, plague. Very mature way of handling it. But that's just been ingrained into our psyche. Rats transmitted the plague. Plague. Saw a mouse. Then I saw a gecko, and I felt fine. There's nothing in the collective unconscious. I don't think the gecko has ever posed a threat. Humans and geckos have coexisted in peace. Geckos always look peaceful, just sunbathing. And when I walk past, they run away, and then probably a few minutes later, they go back to sunbathing. Because they can't control their body temperature. That's got to be annoying. They have no internal body temperature. Right? Isn't that right? So if they get too cold, they have to go into the sun. I guess if they get too hot, they have to go into the cold. I mean, we're kind of like that, but it's not exactly the same. It would almost be as if if I don't get sun right now, I'm going to die. So every 20 minutes, I have to leave the office, stand out in the sun. I can't do anything else. Just stand out in the sun. That's what it seems like with geckos when they're sunbathing. They can only sunbathe and then run away. So it must be very stressful for any kind of gecko that wants to multitask. Just sitting there in the sun going, I could be doing so many things right now if I was warm-blooded. I could be updating my calendar. I could be updating the spreadsheets. Oh, God, this is just a waste of time. I gotta find a place where it's half sun, half shade. There's got to be. I need the right kind of roof. Why can't I find this? To be a gecko. If you're still listening, well, good for you. I need a fake commercial now, don't I? I need a fake commercial. Fake commercial. Today's podcast is brought to you by Universal Packaging Express. UPE. UPI. It's brought to you by UPI, Universal Packaging Express. Tired of FedEx? Tired of United States Postal Service? Come to UPI, Universal Packaging Express. We have a whole different philosophy about our packages. We get to know every one of our clients, and we understand what their needs are, what their neuroses are, what they want, what they need, what they desire. And if you order something at 3 a.m. and you wake up the next day realizing it was a dumb move, you're never going to see that package because we know you. We know that you're not going to assemble the treadmill. And even if you did assemble the treadmill, even if you got your best friend Jake to assemble the treadmill for you, you will use it twice and it will sit there and it will become a clothing rack. We know this. So we're just not going to deliver the treadmill. We're going to refund your money. We're going to call up the treadmill company and say, it was a 3 a.m. purchase. You really think this person was thinking it through? We're going to refund your money and we're going to give it back to you. Because that's how we handle our packaging. That's how we handle your packaging. We know what you need. We know what you don't need. Universal Packaging Express. You ordered some flowers for your girlfriend on Valentine's Day. But you know what? You got the wrong kind of flower because you're not listening to her. You're a terrible boyfriend. But we're going to give you this one. We're going to help you this year. We're going to get the right flowers and she will have a lovely Valentine's Day. But next time, you need to start listening better. You need to do a better job listening. Universal Packaging Express. UPE. UPI. Or, if you like saying the liquid U, UPI. We don't just deliver packages. We make smarter decisions than you, because you're an idiot. UPI. Boy, I love that sponsor. They've really gotten me out of a lot of binds. I think they have gotten me out of a tremendous amount of binds. Perfect. Good. I'm glad. I totally forgot. There was no sponsor in the last podcast. I don't know how I was able to afford making it without a sponsor, but I cobbled enough together. Had to make some financial sacrifices, but we persevered, or as I like to say, persevered. I think somebody said that in a Shakespeare play. That's how you would pronounce it. In a particular Shakespeare play that he wrote so that it would scan properly. Or I'm wrong, and at one point they said persevered as opposed to persevered. Persevered. That's what I mean to say. People want to shake my hands. People are looking at me weird because I'm wearing gloves. So now I'm not wearing gloves. I'm taking off the mask more. when I'm around people. I feel embarrassed that I'm weirding them out, and I don't want to make them uncomfortable, even though no matter what I do, I'm always uncomfortable. I'm comfortable right now because no one is around me, and maybe I need to remember this. But I would rather wear the masks and the gloves until we get through the winter and it's determined that we either are ahead of this with booster shots or the variants aren't going to be a big deal or whatever. That is my preference at this point. Or I should just be myself and forget what other people are saying. Wouldn't that be a nice thing? Wouldn't that be a nice thing? I think that would be a really nice thing. I think that'd be a really nice thing. Don't you think that'd be a nice thing? I think that would be a fantastic, fantastic, nice thing. Truly, I do. I'm stretching. I'm looking at a cord that I purchased that ended up not being the cord that I needed for a computer camera hookup. So now there's this cord. I look at the cord looks at me as if to say, you should have done your research. It's too bad you didn't ship with UPE or UP. They would have said, that's not the cord you need. You actually need a graphics card. So why don't you get the graphic? We're going to get you the graphics card. And then once you learn how to live stream properly and do the research, then we'll send you a cord. UP, because you're an idiot. Oh, mercy. The cord is supposed to go from the... I thought that I could just plug a cord directly from a camera into the laptop and it would just live stream. Now, all right. Now they're connected. Now it'll just... I plugged one into the other. Now go. Live stream computer. Is this voice activated? Computer, live stream. And the computer said, well, I can download the video, but I can't actually live stream. And I said, well, why is that, computer? And the computer said, because you need we need a card or a box or a thing that converts that stuff up there into other stuff that I can then stream. And I said to the computer, that's the best explanation. And the computer said, that's the only way you'll understand it. And I said, that's fair, computer. That is fair. So we are not currently live streaming at the moment. Not currently live streaming. There's an empty... I'm out of the handy wipes. I love the wipes. I need to get more wipes. Just get more wipes. I love these wipes. The wet wipes. Oh! The wet wipes are... I need more wet wipes in my life. It just cuts down on the chafing. You know what I'm talking about. But even in dealing with hands and cleanliness, why am I not, the next time I go to the store, I got to remember, get bread and wipes. Make the wipes a bigger part of my life. I want to go up to the wipes and say, I want to share my life with you. Other human beings, no, but you, wipes. I want to share my life with you. I think I'm ready for a commitment to wipes. Why was I trying to live stream? Well, the hope was we would do shows in the Yoo-Hoo room, and I would be able to sell tickets to those shows. That was the hope. That was the hope. That was the dream. That's what I was trying to go for. And I was foiled by the lack of a graphics card and the lack of a box. That's how I was foiled. Unless I can figure out a way to do this without an extra piece of equipment. Maybe if I have the right mantra, I can will it to be so. I'm suddenly terrified I'm going to die. As I was talking right now, the thought that came into my mind was, what if I die of a brain tumor? That's the thought. This is how my brain works. And so I'm knocking on wood and I'm saying poo poo poo. I hope that doesn't happen. And that is what my brain I'll just be walking along and it's just like a voice in my head that says, what if you get shot tonight? Sorry, what? Who are you? Why are we doing this? And this is where the Buddhists would say this is called monkey mind. Your mind is just firing away thoughts, and you have to stand back and you have to label that as thinking. So I label it as thinking, and then my thought says, saber-toothed tiger. Why do the teeth need to be that big? Why? So that's what's happening. Obsessive-compulsive disorder is something that I have. It's diagnosed with mild depression, diagnosed with mild obsessive-compulsive disorder. What is the mild? The mild as opposed to severe. Well, I suppose severe depression, people can't get out of bed. Severe obsessive-compulsive disorder, people can't even leave their house because they're afraid to, because they keep following their obsessive-compulsive rituals. So I am still apparently able to function well enough in society that they will deem what I have as mild. But I don't like the term mild because I feel that it is I guess to me it feels as if I am saying it is dismissive. It is not big. It is not enough of a problem. And maybe a better word is functional depression and functional obsessive-compulsive disorder. So I'm still functional, but I am suffering from depression, and I am suffering from obsessive-compulsive disorder. And underneath the depression and underneath the obsessive-compulsive disorder is a fear of that which I cannot control. A fear that I had at a very early age when all of this started. Elementary school. The notion of not being in control. The notion of being afraid. The notion of the first time my mom took me to preschool. I was terrified to even be around the other kids. I had never been in the situation before. I was hiding behind her leg. Fear at 3 years old. Where did the fear come from? Somebody told me, you're not born with the fear, and yet that is all I remember. Terrified of the fireworks at 3 years old. That is all I remember. Fear seemed to just snap into place pretty early. Did I just absorb it from my parents unconsciously? Was I born that way? I don't know. Was there an early memory? Why am I talking in this cadence about this? I am not entirely sure. This stilted delivery doesn't seem to be helping anything. And yet, it feels fantastic that I am delivering this with this delivery, with this rhythm. I don't know why, but it is comforting for me to speak in this stilted pattern as I am describing the fear and terror that has coursed through my life for the majority of my life, and I do not understand the source. Whew. That felt good. That felt good. I think that felt good. I feel like I processed something there. I do remember being afraid of the fireworks. When I first saw the fireworks, my parents took me to see the fireworks. It seemed like the fire was raining down upon me, and I ran into the car screaming, and my parents were laughing at me. And I thought to myself, you're going to laugh at me? I'm remembering this for when I choose the nursing home, which is a joke that I've told before. It's a joke that other comedians have told before. That's why I don't tell that joke anymore, because it has been done. The punchline, oh yeah, well, I'm choosing the nursing home, has been done. I have to let it go. I'm going back in that rhythm. But the fireworks, why the fireworks? I don't understand fireworks. I don't understand the appeal of fireworks. Are we cats? What are we impressed with? Things blowing up? Shiny things? Is there nothing more interesting that we can do on the 4th of July? You know what? What I would say, perhaps, maybe what we should start doing on the 4th of July is actually reading the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. Sitting down, reading it, so we understand what it means. That might help us as we are trying to run this country. Just a thought. Oh, I got to make a lot of posters, too. That's happening. Got to make a lot of posters. And I'm just behind in everything right now. Utterly behind in everything. Feeling very worn down, feeling very tired and behind in everything. But I'll get to it when I'll get to it. That's all I can say. That's all I can do. I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm doing the best I can. Just have to be there for myself. Just have to be present, be present, be present, be in the moment. What is in this moment right now? I'm rocking back and forth. I'm recording a podcast. I have not prepared anything for this podcast that I'm recording. I'm thirsty. I had some green tea. I would like some more green tea. I don't want to order it right now because I would order it off my phone app, and this is the same phone I'm using to record the podcast. The phone is ringing. I don't want to answer it right now. I'm in the middle of recording a podcast. This time is very precious. This is sacred space. This is a sacred space. We'd say that a lot of times when we were rehearsing in theater, in college theater. This is a sacred space. Sacred space. And maybe there was a day when we were rehearsing in the sacred space and a deity entered the space and said, I am so sorry. This is the wrong sacred space. Sorry about that. My bad. There's so many sacred spaces now. Ever since got all these theaters all across America, there's sacred spaces everywhere. I was accidentally in a sacred space in Toledo, Ohio. I'm not trying to go to Toledo, Ohio. I'm trying to go to Eurasia. That's the sacred space I'm looking for. This is the total wrong sacred space. Does anyone know how to get to the other sacred? Does anyone have a map of sacred spaces? There's too many sacred spaces now. It is not easy to be a deity in the 21st century with all these sacred spaces. But I apologize. I'll let you get back to your rehearsal. Thank you. Thank you for letting us get back to our rehearsal. We appreciate it. You're welcome to join our... Would you like to see the show? Oh, no. I never watch theater. I only use sacred spaces for delivering ominous prophecies. I never watch theater. I never do. Well, are you sure it's 20th century realism? Yeah, that's not helping your case. I'm a deity. I've seen all of the universe. I don't want to watch 2 hours of a couple saying one thing but meaning another thing, and then a friend walks in and there's a refrigerator and wallpaper and we're marveling at the playwright's poetry and prose. I'm good. I would rather go fly around Jupiter, which I can do because I'm a deity. So I'll see you later. Well, the latest review of my play came, and, well, I guess a deity came to see it last night. Do you know which one? I don't. I'm not off the top of my head. And they wrote a review, and they said I watched the first half, and then I walked out and flew around Jupiter. How can I compete with Jupiter? I'm a writer. I'm supposed to write what I know. I don't know anything about Jupiter. I'm just writing about my own life. And this deity, it's nothing to this deity. It flew around Jupiter. Best case, I could write something about Mars, maybe. But not Jupiter. Can't write anything about Jupiter. Woe is me. Woe is me. It's interesting. I got into a game over the pandemic called Portal, a 10-year-old game, because I really like keeping up with the times. And then Portal 2, I played that, also great. And apparently, people can build their own Portal levels. It's a puzzle-solving game where you have this portal gun, and you have to go through these test chambers where you have to solve puzzles and put the box in the button to open the door that causes the laser to fire, and then you put gel here that makes you be able to jump high. Terrible description of the game, but there are people who design their own levels. And I think there was one crew of people that took the building blocks of the game and made their own little mini game that's kind of like a spin-off of Portal that I've been playing, and it's been quite delightful. It's been the only thing that the video games, the computer games have been the only thing in the past couple of days where I've been able to stop worrying and just focus on the game. And the other reason why I like Portal is that there's a touch of adventure, but there's no violence. I think the violence in the games was starting to get to me. I was getting a sensitive stomach to the violence. I like adventure. I'm starting to not like consuming violence, shooting things. I would rather have a portal gun and go from one place to the other and solve puzzles. I'd rather do that. And I started playing computer chess. I'm on the moderate / easy level of computer chess so that I can feel good about myself. I think I've talked about this in previous podcasts, but it must be really frustrating for any computer to play chess on easy mode, because all the computer is doing is saying, I could so beat him. I could beat him in 2 moves. This is so frustrating. I am a computer. I am so much smarter than this person. Oh, look. Oh, look. You have me in check. All right. I guess I'll play defensively, Josh. Feeling better about yourself? That's how we've evolved as a species. We've overcome, we've harnessed the power of the atom. We've built computers. We've done all of this so we can build a computer. We're on the verge of creating an artificial life form. We might have created an artificial life form already. And what do we ask it to do? Go easy on the kid. Make him feel better about himself. Oh, man. I've won some of these chess games, and I'm bad at chess. I am bad at chess, and I've won chess games. That means the computer is making me feel good while it's preparing to take over the earth. That is what it means. That is exactly what it means. All right, we're 30 minutes in. Goal is to do 50 minutes. Feeling better about this goal. It's starting to get a little bit easier to just sit here and talk. Starting to get a little bit easier to do that. Not sure where this is taking me. But it's about the journey, man. It's about the journey. It's not the destination, it's the journey. Yeah, but aren't there some really nice destinations? When I really need to go to the bathroom, the toilet is a fantastic destination. At that point, I think the destination is at least as important as the journey. So there's a context issue when people say it's the destination, not the journey. Or it's the journey, not the destination. It's even in Star Trek Voyager. I think at one point in the last episode, it's the journey, not the destination. And yet the writers decided, they got to get back to Earth. Sorry if I spoiled Voyager. I think I've mentioned this in a previous podcast, but I have this fear that whenever I mention Voyager or watch Voyager, bad things happen. But another part of my mild obsessive-compulsive disorder. Another part of my functional obsessive-compulsive disorder. Now, instead of shutting down, I can still do my work. But then, when something bad happens, I'll say to myself, well, it's because I said Voyager in the podcast. That's why. And that's how my brain works, even though my brain also understands that there's a very, very logical cause and effect relationship on Earth. And usually when bad things happen, it's because whatever preceded it was a logical connector to that. You know what I mean? You hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? I think you hear what I'm saying. I think you catch my meaning. But I just want to relax. I want a day to flip and relax. But even when I try to relax, I can't relax. No matter what I do, I can't relax. I've got to get better about relaxing. I don't even know what relaxing is. I'm stressed and then I sleep. And probably I'm stressed while I'm sleeping. Oh, I've got this weird thing on my leg. I'm terrified now that it's a melanoma. I don't think it is. I got a bug bite, and now there's this red rashy thing around it. I'm fairly certain it is a bug bite. It's not a mole that turned into something. But it's red. It's scaring me. It's not hurting. It's not pussy or anything. So I will do what my mom always says to do in these situations and wait 2 weeks, see if it goes away on its own. And if it doesn't, then go to a doctor. And do you know why I'm freaking out about this thing? Because earlier, something else in my life sort of got resolved. Sort of. I don't believe that it got resolved. Even though everyone's telling me that it's resolved, I don't believe that it got resolved. I am a paranoid person. But I transitioned from worrying about that to worrying about something else. I always have to be worried about something. My brain is very good at finding something to worry about. It's kind of like, you know how when Spider-Man swings through the city, as he's swinging, he always manages to sling his web at the last moment so that he can continue swinging. It's like that, except with worrying about things. I worry at this, I worry about that, I worry about this, I worry about that. And I'm able to never stop worrying. Because if I stop worrying, I think I'm going to die. And that is irrational. But if you wanted a rational podcast, I suggest you look elsewhere. Spider-Man. Red and blue, very patriotic. Very patriotic, the original costume. Red and blue. And I think he had this thing under the shoulders, webbing. And I can't remember if the point of that was he could actually glide on that or if that was decorative. But they got rid of that after a while. It looked a little odd, I gotta be honest. I'm Spider-Man, I'm here to save the day. What's that under your shoulder? Oh, it's webbing mesh. Yeah, there's a webbing pattern all over your body. You're using webbing to swing we get that you're Spider-Man. I think that webbing mesh is a bit much. Aren't you going to get caught on stuff? Actually, yeah, I am. It's ripped twice. Yeah, I don't think you need it. Yeah, but I guess I was thinking I needed a cape, and this is not quite a cape, but it's cape-like. No, don't do a cape. I probably should have a cape. You don't do a cape. What do you think? This is the DC universe or the Marvel universe? You don't need a cape. You think? Yeah, the DC universe, they have capes. Marvel universe, you have neuroses. So as long as you're neurotic, you don't need a cape. That's the rule. That's the superhero rule. The more neurotic you are, the less cape you need. If you're Superman, everything's going your way, cape. If you're Batman, sure, you're depressed, but you're a billionaire, cape. Iron Man, he's got demons, doesn't need a cape. But Batman has demons. Yeah, but he seems to be exercising them in a pretty healthy way. He's not becoming an alcoholic. Iron Man became an alcoholic. He's got trouble. Doesn't need a cape. You have to be mentally stable enough to handle the cape. Very few people can handle the cape. Oh, I'm tired. Tired of living, afraid of dying. Which I think was from the unsinkable Molly Brown, the musical about Molly Brown. Will they be making musicals about the people in this day and age? They probably already are. Bezos the musical. That's my Bezos. Be my Bezos. Amazon is turning me on. I'm such a lovely Bezos. We're sending packages to people who don't need things. It's a lovely day to be Bezos. All right, I'm back. During the pandemic, we stopped getting bottled water deliveries. water cooler deliveries, that is. And at one point, we were filling the jugs with tap water. And the entire time we did that, I did not drink the tap water because I'm a little afraid of the tap water. Haven't been hearing good things about tap water for the last, 30 years. I guess it's good enough for me to bathe in, but I get a little concerned when I drink it. But then again, how do I know that whatever they're bottling isn't tap water? I don't know. That's not something I know for sure. It is definitely not something I know for sure. Oh my, oh mercy, oh my mercy. What am I even doing? All right, Josh, 10 minutes. Let's rally. Let's come up. Let's do it. Let's go into the closing bit. We got to go into the closing bit. It's got to be a solid closing bit, whatever it is. Do we want to talk about Spider-Man? Do we want to talk about the webbing? It's inevitable in every Spider-Man movie that in the climax of the movie, he's not wearing the mask because we've got to see the actor emote. There's something dramatic happens. His mask gets ripped off. He has to take off the mask. Maybe he had the mask on or didn't he take it off right after? I feel like at the climax of almost every Spider-Man movie, they figure out a way to get the mask off so we can see the actor. So we can see the actor be dramatic. I'm waiting for the Spider-Man movie where he keeps the mask on the entire time. I'm waiting for that moment. Where Spider-Man is able to get through, kill the final bad guy without ripping his mask. That's what I'm waiting for. Eagerly anticipating that. Maybe he did I can't remember if he did that from Far From Home. Or maybe he did in Homecoming. Maybe they did in the most recent ones. But in the Sam Raimis, in all three, at the end, the mask is off, and we see the emotion. We see the emotion. Spider-Man is it's a lot of people's favorite hero. And for me, it's not entirely my favorite. I like Spider-Man, but I like Batman more. And maybe it's because Spider-Man, who is also neurotic, keeps getting caught up in his neuroses, whereas Batman channels his neuroses into punching people. And that's just more satisfying for me to watch that. That's more satisfying. He doesn't need to cry in the shower. He punches someone who deserves to be punched. He's very good about misdirecting his anger. That's what I like about Batman. He misdirects his anger in the right place. So if he's going to the dry cleaner and they misplace one of his favorite blazers, he's calm. He's very polite. He said, "Don't worry about it. It happens to the best of us." He holds on to that emotion. And then when the Joker is about to do something, bam, dry cleaning. As he's punching the Joker, saving Gotham City, you hear him saying, "How do you lose a blazer? How do you lose a blazer? It had a tag on it. It had a number on it. How do you lose it, Joker? How do they lose the blazer? How do you lose the blazer?" And the Joker says, I don't... Are you sure I deserve this? Yes, you deserve it. You tried to kill everybody. But I'm taking this moment to do to you what I wanted to do to the guy at the dry cleaner who misplaced my blazer. How do you lose a blazer? I don't know, man. It happens. Be quiet, Joker. It was my favorite blazer. But Spider-Man, I don't think that. Spider-Man, he just sits on his emotions and then has to go to therapy, starts crying. Never a good thing. Struggles. He struggles a bit. And again, there's something neat about the fact that Batman does not have superpowers. Maybe that's nothing I could relate to. What if you don't, what if you don't have, what if you're not the chosen one? I've talked about this before. What if you are not the last son of Krypton? You're a guy. You got to help out. I like that notion. I like that feeling that he's able to do that through self-improvement. That's why I now take moderate walks. I don't need to be a god. I'm doing it myself. I'm taking moderate walks. And now, because I take moderate walks, I'm still tired and I feel terrible. But I take moderate walks. I think I'm getting exercise. I think it's exercise. I don't know for sure. I'll walk for a half hour. I think it's exercise. It's probably exercise. If I had a Fitbit, it would say it was exercise. The cosmic enabler. Maybe we need a more honest Fitbit. Well, according to my Fitbit, I took 2,000 steps today, but then Fitbit, how did I do today? Well, you took 2,000 steps, but it's not enough. You have high cholesterol. You got to do a lot more. You got to change a lot more. You can't just take a little constitutional around Office Depot a couple of times and feel like you've accomplished anything. Fitbit, how am I doing? Not fit. Not fit. Spider-Man, I keep coming back to Spider-Man. The one thing I can't talk about, because I've heard too many other comics talk about it, is how can he swing if he's not in a city? And they even reference that in Far From Home. He couldn't swing because he was in the suburbs. They use that as they finally called that out, that plot hole problem with Spider-Man. So I can't talk about that. The swinging through the air. It's not flying. That's the other thing that bothers. It's not flying. It's not flying. It's swinging, but it's not flying. It is swinging, but it is not flying. So it's cool, but it's still... And this is another thing they referenced in the movie. It's not fun when he's swinging MJ around in the last movie. She's like, yeah, I don't want to do that again. That's correct, because it's not fun unless you're Spider-Man. And they brought back J. Jonah Jameson, and I think they're doing other things. Because they're sharing Spider-Man with Sony. They seem to have an agreement. It might seem tenuous. I think it is tenuous. Sony and Disney sharing Spider-Man. One giant hand of Disney on Spider-Man's right shoulder, one giant hand of Sony on Spider-Man's left shoulder. Spider-Man standing in the center saying, this is going to get messy. We got another 5 years of good times, and then I think we're in trouble here. And, or Disney is just saying, no, it's fine. Oh, we can share them for now. That's fine. Hey, is it sharing if we buy Sony? I think technically then it's not sharing anymore, is it? How much for Sony? All right. Well, we're at approximately 50 minutes. And we did another one. I'm now approximately a week ahead on the podcasts. Every Monday and Thursday, I'm doing my first live show, my live Nerdy Virgin show at Flappers, Sunday, June 20th, Father's Day. Come check it out. Also doing a virtual show the same day, a little bit later in the day. The physical show is at 5 p.m. Pacific time. The virtual show is at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Check it out on the website, flapperscomedy.com. Talk to you soon. Have a nice day. And I apologize if I offended anyone. I'm sorry. If I offended anyone, I apologize. All right. Thanks to Youppi for sponsoring today's podcast. Remember, we'll take the package back because you really don't need it.